Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to call this regular meeting of the City of Pasco Code Enforcement Board to order. These proceedings are being presented live tonight on PSC-TV, cable channel 191, and will be rebroadcast throughout the following month. The Code Enforcement Board conducts public meetings to hear issues regarding alleged violations of the city code, particularly property maintenance standards. For those present, if you're given an opportunity to address the Code Enforcement Board tonight, we ask that you speak clearly into the microphone at the podium. State your name and address for the record when we call you. And I would also like to request that if you brought a cell phone tonight, that you'd please turn that off during the proceedings. Thank you. And we will now have roll call.
Mr. Dwayne Spear.
Present.
Mr. Daniel Gottschalk.
Present.
Mr. James Rawlinson.
Present.
We have 3 members present. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, sir. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, folks. The next item of business on tonight's agenda is the approval of the minutes from the August 1st, 2024 meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I move that the minutes of the August 1st, 2024 meeting of the Code Enforcement Board be approved as mailed.
Second, is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. We accept the minutes as they were mailed. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We will now hear the cases scheduled for tonight, October 3rd, 2024, at 7 p.m. for alleged violations of the Pasco Municipal Code. The City of Pasco is a petitioner, property owners, and their authorized representatives here to address the city's charges of the respondents. The purpose of these hearings is to determine whether the city, by a preponderance of the evidence, has proven that the violation charged has occurred upon certain properties owned or controlled by the respondents, and if so, whether the required corrective action is reasonable and whether a monetary penalty is appropriate. The hearing procedures are as follows. First, the chair will open the hearing, which is being recorded. To ensure the accuracy of the testimony, each person who will be testifying shall be sworn to truthfulness here in just a minute. Second, the city has a burden of proof and shall present its case, including any witnesses and exhibits that are relevant to the case. The respondent may cross-examine the city's and examine the city and the city's witnesses. Third, the respondent shall present their case, including any witnesses and exhibits that are relevant to the case. The city may cross-examine the respondent's witnesses as well. Fourth, the city will have the opportunity for rebuttal of the respondent's evidence raised in their case, and the respondent may answer the city's rebuttal. Fifth, after all the evidence is in the record, the hearing will be closed. Remember, this is your only opportunity to present evidence in your case. And then sixth, the board members will then discuss the charges, facts, and evidence presented and render a decision. A copy of the decision will be mailed to all parties within 10 working days of this hearing.
Mr. Chair, we're ready to hear tonight's cases. Before we begin, will you please explain the procedure for providing testimony and swear in all city staff, respondents, and any other witnesses who have appeared here to offer testimony?
Yes. Testimony can only be received at the microphone at the podium, like we talked about earlier. When you address the board, please state your name and address at the beginning of your testimony. If you have any written materials you wish to be considered, please present them to the board secretary to be marked as an exhibit. It will become part of the hearing record. Are there any questions about the procedures at all, folks? We're good?
He is asking if there's any way that we could do this another time so his wife can be present.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Hello?
So we have denied that request, and we're going to ask the board to make that decision, because this has been going on for quite a few months.
Oh, I see.
I would ask, why is it important for the wife to be here? Yeah,
Could you go to the microphone, please, so
Yes,
we can have
please.
it recorded?
And just state your name and address, please.
Board,
Yes.
what I might ask is, let's.
Okay,
get-
hold on just a second, folks.
What I might ask is, let's get through the procedure
Okay.
first. Let's go through swearing
Okay.
in.
Let
and
us
maybe
finish
start
up,
the case.
and then we will hear your point,
Right.
okay? Very good. That makes the best sense. All right. Are there any objections to any member of the board hearing your matter due to the belief that any one of us may have a conflict of interest, or the appearance of one? And if so, please indicate that objection now, or will be considered waived. Okay. Okay, we will now swear in all witnesses who will be testifying in these proceedings. Would all city staff, respondents, witnesses present for any of the cases tonight, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth in these proceedings? If so, please respond, I do. Excellent, you may be seated. Now let's talk about what you were asking just before we did that. Okay, the question, yes, perfect.
Is it the red one?
If,
It's the button on.
right
there you go, perfect. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Su dirección.
Raudel Jacobo, 102144 Rose Street,
Okay.
Pasco.
The question is what is the importance of needing your wife here for the testimony?
I'm kind of lost right now, and she's the one that runs everything.
Okay.
And since she's not here, I'm not.
Why isn't she here?
Oh, she went to event for a church in Arkansas. No, in Kansas.
In Texas.
Kansas.
Kansas.
It what?
She went to a church, like seminar or something in Kansas.
Kansas.
Kansas, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And how long have you known this was gonna happen tonight?
I'm sorry.
How long have you known that we were gonna have this meeting tonight?
Well, she just told me. Well, I knew it was we were supposed to have a meeting, but I didn't know she wasn't going to be here until like 2 days ago, and I wasn't prepared for.
Pero ¿qué tanto tiempo sabía ella?
Oh, yeah, she knew like a month ago, but she had this schedule for church.
Okay.
I'm not inclined to approve it. Chairman.
I'm gonna read this a second here. All right, give us just a second.
Excuse me.
Gosh, yeah.
Is she on the phone?
Yes.
She is on the phone?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And she can hear us?
¿Sí nos puede oír?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
¿Sí nos escucha, Dulce? ¿Puede prender la micrófono?
Sí, sí los escucho.
Yeah, she's on the phone.
Okay. I was just confirming.
And is that your wife?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was somebody different. Then I think we could do it.
We should proceed.
Porque ella está
Yeah,
en
we're
la
gonna
phone.
go with it tonight, folks. All right, we're just gonna try to get it done. All right, so go ahead and have a seat, and we'll have the city present their case.
Lo que van a hacer es nomás leer todo eso.
All right, Mr. Chair, we're ready to hear tonight's case. This is case number CEV 2024-0652. Ms. Johnson, please present your case whenever you're ready.
So the property known as 415 West Columbia Street was inspected on August 20th, 2024 Violations of the Pasco Municipal Code were observed and a correction notice was issued on 8/22/2024 via email. Church pastors Raul Day and Dulces Jacopo visited City Hall on August 20th, 2024 to discuss concerns that the structure was being used for services without having the required occupancy registration, conditional use permit, and improvements to the building to protect the life, health, and safety of the occupants. A walkthrough was scheduled for August 22nd, 2024 with the building official to advise of the next steps for changing the use and to apply for building permits. On August 22nd, 2024, Code Officer Gomez and building official Hendren walked the structure with the pastors. The visit was followed up with an email from the building official detailing the steps to correction and reiterating that the building could not be occupied. On September 11th, 2024, another concern was reported by a member of the public. The building official reached out to the pastors by email to confirm the building was not being used for services, but no response was received that day. On September 12th, pastors Raudal and Dulce Jacopo and another church representative visited City Hall and met with Code Officer Gomez and building official Hendren. They again discussed concerns of services being held in the building, and Mrs. Jacopo again responded that they were not. On September 20th, 2024, a verified services had been held at the location and issued a notice of civil violation, which was posted at the site. The same day, Mrs. Jacobo came to discuss the notice and denied using the building for services. She scheduled a representative to appear at the hearing on behalf of the church, as she is going to be out of the area. A reinspection of the property revealed that it was still in violation of the Pasco Municipal Code, and a notice of civil violation was issued on September 20th, 2024. The property owner and occupants were legally notified via posting of the property on September 20th, 2024, of the conditions which I believe to be in violation of the Pasco Municipal Code. Based on the final inspection of the property, which was completed on September 20th, 2024, it is my opinion that the property is not in compliance with Pasco Municipal Code. So I'm going through the presentation right now, the slideshow, and these are in the 411 side of the building. 415 is the overall main address, and there are two portions. I'm going to back up here to show the board. On the right side is 415. It's a large warehouse that's largely unfinished, and on the left is 411, which has some finishing but still does not meet the requirements for an assembly occupancy, which is what a church falls under. And then these are electrical hazards and blocked egress exits that we have at the structure, which is one of the major concerns that we have in the building, along with lack of required fire sprinkler systems. Each of these is dated. This is August 24th. This is 2 days after the walkthrough at the property, where they were notified and followed up by email that there could not be services held there. And this is a Facebook Live video, and these go for at least an hour for each of the videos. This is August 25th, August 28th, the invitation on September 1st, and then the service held on September 1st. In each of these photos, there's between 35 and 60 people in the audience that I can count from the photo. September 4th invitation and September 4th service. The September 6th and the September 6th service occurring. We have September 8th and service on the 8th. This is the same night. September 11th and September 13th. This is the day after they came to the city to speak with the building official. And that's the end of the presentation. So I have supplied the board with photo evidence of the services held in Suite 411 of 415 West Columbia before and after being notified that the structure could not be occupied for worship. The City of Pasco recommends that Iglesia Casa de Dios Puerta al Cielo shall maintain the building vacant until all city requirements are met and pay an immediate monetary penalty of $5,000 for failure to correct violations which threaten the life, health, and safety of the occupants.
Wow. Okay. Now you,
Can you put up the one with all the dates, the one sheet?
there we go. All right, come on back up, folks. And your wife is still on the line, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so if she's gonna testify, all she needs to do is just have her state her name and address for the record. And if for some reason, if there's something you can't answer, she's welcome to do that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and state your name and address for the record. We'll have your wife do the same.
Raudel Jacobo, 1021 44 Broad Street.
Okay,
Dulce, necesita que presentar su nombre y su dirección, por favor.
Si le puedo explicar un poco lo que
Sí.
pasó.
Primero,
Dulce Villanueva de Jacobo. Mi dirección es 1021 North Road, 44 Pasco, Washington, 99301.
okay.
gracias.
All right, thank you. My first question for you folks would be, did you have services in this building this last
Sí,
weekend?
la primera pregunta era si ustedes tenían servicios en este edificio.
Antes de que me avisaran, sí, llegamos a tener algunos cuantos servicios.
Ah,
Antes de que Ernesto y Troy hablaran conmigo.
Yes, before before they were notified, they did have services before they spoke with Ernesto Gomez.
This last weekend?
Este fin de semana tuvieron una junta?
No,
She says no.
When was the-
fue
Oh.
en, no recuerdo exactamente, hace como 3 semanas atrás, 2 o 3 semanas atrás.
She doesn't remember
Nosotros,
specifically, but 2 or 3 weeks before
Okay, so,
ago.
okay, so you think it's been 2 or 3 weeks?
Roseanne, can you put up the pictures from 9/13?
Okay. Él está preguntando por las fotos de la fecha 9/13. Es lo que están mirando.
Ese fue un servicio, ellos hablaron con nosotros
Thank you.
tal vez un martes o un jueves de esa semana. Me dijeron que podía hacer una oración por el building, como nada más, como una pequeña reunión, Ernesto y Taylor creo que se llama.
Okay.
Y fue lo que hicimos, y el
Ok.
día 15 nosotros nos movimos a un nuevo edificio. Nosotros ya no continuamos haciendo ningún otro servicio ahí en el edificio de la Columbia.
Okay, un momento. So she is saying that she came in like a Tuesday or a Wednesday to ask if they could have a small service there. She was told that she could, but that was the last service that they had at that area, that location.
Okay, because on 9/12, she was told that
Really?
they
No,
couldn't host.
that is absolutely incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. I would
Esta
have
di-
never allowed that.
Yeah. Estamos diciendo que eso está incorrecto, que nunca hemos dicho que se podía tener esa audiencia allí, en esa fecha.
Me dijeron que podía hacer como una reunión de oración
That she was told that
después
she
de
could
que
have a
hablaron,
prayer service.
solo como para orar por el building, y ya era todo lo que podía hacer, no podía usarlo.
Yeah,
Ellos
that
me
it was
dijeron que
just
no
a
lo podía
prayer
hacer
service.
para hacer servicios.
Okay, that it was just a prayer service to pray for the building and the services there.
No,
And that's
no.
Does she remember who she talked to?
¿Usted
Or
se
was it a
acuerda con
male,
quién
female?
habló?
Do we know?
Señora,
¿Mande?
¿usted se acuerda con quién habló? ¿Quién le dijo eso? Que podían estar allí ese
Fue
fin-
con Ernesto, fue con Ernesto y con Taylor. Estábamos reunidos en la mesa. Ellos me dijeron, puedes hacer una oración por el building, pero no puedes tener servicios. Solamente esta vez no puedes tener servicios. Y ese fue el último día. Fue un viernes, no recuerdo exactamente. Déjame checar.
Yeah, she was saying that it was Ernesto. ¿Qué otra persona era?
Fue el
Ernesto-
viernes 13, el último día que yo tuve una reunión con los hermanos de la iglesia, ahí el viernes 13.
Oh, that she
que nos
was saying
reunimos
that
ahí a orar.
They had a meeting with the
Después de hablar con ellos,
that they
para
had a
darles la
meeting-
noticia que ya no íbamos a estar ahí, que no podíamos hacer servicios
Okay.
y que no podíamos estar
déjame
ahí ocupándolo.
Okay, déjame decir. So they had a meeting with Ernesto and the brothers there. They were told that they could have just one last meeting and then that they weren't going to have any meetings anymore after that, that they were not allowed to have any more meetings.
With Ernesto?
Gómez.
Gomez, yes, the
Okay,
code officer.
so that would have been sometime.
No fue un servicio, ellos no me dijeron que podía hacer servicios, me dijeron puedes reunirlos para decirles, o sea, orar por el lugar y decir que no puedes, no tienes autorización para hacer servicios.
Okay, so
Y yo lo
she's
hice para el viernes 13.
okay. So she
Ese
was
día nos
told.
reunimos con los hermanos en la iglesia
Okay, déjame
y les dejé
explicarle,
saber
okay?
que no podíamos.
Okay, so what she was told is that she could not have service there, but she would be able to have a prayer meeting there to pray for the building for that day, but not to have any more services after
All
that.
right. Whoever she did talk to, that was a bad no-no. If it's true, then she should have never been told that. But you folks do know now that you cannot occupy that building in any way, shape, or form, correct?
Okay. El
You
que
understand that?
yeah, el que le dijo que podían estar allí no era una comunicación que no se debía decir. Ustedes ya saben ahora que no se puede tener servicios en ese edificio. ¿Sí entienden eso, verdad?
Sí, y desde ese día no volví a tener servicios. Nosotros tenemos otro edificio donde estamos llevando a cabo los servicios.
She's saying yes, she understands, and they also have another building where they're having their gatherings.
Okay.
Is that building permitted for that use?
Is that a question for them? Or?
Can she provide the address?
¿Cuál es la dirección donde se están reuniendo?
132 West de la Lewis.
132 West Lewis. ¿Y tienen licencia para tener los servicios allí?
Sí, es un salón de fiestas.
I asked her if she had a license for that area. She says yes. It's a area for festivities.
It's a rental hall. So they are allowed to hold those kind of activities there. If the church is going to be regularly operating, they still require to have a special use permit. If this is a temporary one, they have rented with the owner to do that. So it's a little bit of a gray
So-
area at the moment.
What is your intention with this building?
¿Qué son las intenciones que tienen con este edificio en el Columbia?
Queremos hacer una iglesia, si es posible.
Yeah, they wanna convert it to a church if it's possible.
And just get everything fixed that they
Yeah.
need to fix.
Yeah.
And they can do that if they get everything correct, right?
Correct.
They jump through all the hoops and.
Correct, and.
So it is a possibility. You could have-
Correct, and we've given that information to them
Oh,
a
okay.
few times.
All right.
Yeah, le están diciendo si esta es una posibilidad a convertir ese edificio a una iglesia y Troy Hendren dice que sí es una posibilidad y que le dieron toda esa información ya antes de cómo es el proceso para hacer todos los requerimientos para ese edificio.
Sí, ayer el martes fueron a ver los sprinkles, porque me pidieron que necesitamos sprinkles. Todo lo que ha ido el electricista, todo lo que me han estado pidiendo, yo he estado trabajando, viendo los presupuestos
Okay.
para poder.
Okay. She said that yes, she's had the fire sprinkler people there on Tuesday, as well as an electrician to go over all those
Start looking into it.
process.
Okay.
But what was stressed to her on multiple occasions is she needs to talk to the planning department to start that conditional use permit.
Lo que estaba de urgencia es que necesitaba que hablar con el planning department aquí con la ciudad para comenzar el proceso del special permit, lo que se nombra special permit.
Sí,
Sí, yes.
fui por la aplicación, pero no la he podido llevar porque no hemos tenido los $500, porque ahora estoy pagando el building, estoy pagando el nuevo edificio que rentamos, estoy pagando casi $10,000 al mes por todos los gastos que tenemos.
Okay.
No me ha quedado dinero para meter la aplicación de que cobran a $550, pero ya tenemos todo, esperando nomás reunir ese dinero para meter la aplicación del permiso condicional que me pide.
Okay, so she's saying that they did come to the planning department. They have picked up the application. At the moment, they cannot pay for the $550 because now they're having to pay for the new building. They're paying rent for the temporary building
Right.
and everything else. They just paid $10,000, and right now they're just a little strapped for the money to pay for that
Sure.
application.
They just can't occupy it for events and all that. That's That's the big point here. You just
Can
can't,
you say that again?
you cannot occupy that building, this one,
Yeah.
for events or group things or prayer services or anything like that. You can't do that.
Yeah. Lo que está diciendo el señor Gachar es que a este edificio en la Colombia no se puede usar para eventos o reuniones de iglesia o oraciones, no se puede usar para nada mientras que no han calzado los requerimientos.
Sí, solo lo estamos usando para bodega. No estamos usándolo para ninguna otra cosa.
Okay.
Solo lo estamos usando para tener ahí cosas, pero no lo estamos usando el edificio.
At the moment, she's stating that they're only using it as a storage, just to have the excess
Yeah.
material there, and they're not using it as a
Okay.
gathering area at
All
all.
right. Okay.
But again, I want to stress, again, and this is 4 or 5 times now, you can meet with as many people as you want, but bottom line is, without that permit, without that conditional use permit, you can't occupy that ever.
Yeah.
You can never use that as a church. So, without, you can put fire sprinklers in that, you can put alarms in that, you can sheetrock, you can do all this stuff, to beautify it, right? But you can never use it as a church without that permit.
Okay.
So your primary goal is to get that conditional use permit. I mean, that would be the first thing. That would be your first expense. And that actually is going to take the longest.
Yeah. Okay, so lo que está diciendo el señor Hendren es que el primer paso que es urgente es aplicar por ese permiso de special condition, el uso de condiciones especial, porque ese proceso es el más lento, es el que se va a tardar más. Usted puede poner los fire sprinklers, puede poner sheetrock, hacerlo todo bonito, pero sin ese permiso del special use condition no se va a poder usar todo. So, el primer paso que debe de tomar es sacar el permiso del uso condicional.
Sí, eso sí ya lo sabía y es lo que estoy esperando. Ya tenemos la aplicación llena, ya tenemos todo, solo estoy esperando tener esos $550 para ir a someter la aplicación.
Okay, so she's saying,
Okay.
yeah, she has the application,
All right.
it's filled out. They're just trying to get
Right,
money
sure,
so they can
sure.
get that in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Algo
Anything
más?
else? Dwayne, nothing? We're good? Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, no, wait.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Does your wife have anything else she wants to share?
Dulce, ¿usted tiene algo más que decirle a la audiencia?
Creo que no, por el momento no. Preguntar si el edificio que estoy ocupando sí está correcto en la Lewy, porque me lo están ofreciendo para vendérmelo. Entonces, si ese sí se puede usar,
Okay. So she wants to know if
el de 132 Lewis.
Okay, so she wants to know if the building at 132 East Lewis, is that can that be used as a church, or do they need to go through the same process because they're willing to sell that property to her?
That's a completely separate discussion, and we're not going to discuss that
Okay.
tonight. We're only discussing 411 and 415.
Esa es una discusión que se tiene que hacer aparte de aquí. Lo único que vamos a discutir o de hablar es del edificio aquí en Columbus. Columbia.
Ok, entonces no tengo ninguna otra
Alright.
pregunta.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, sorry for
Yeah.
convenience.
Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead and have a seat. Thank you very much. There be no further evidence to be presented. I determine the record complete. The hearing is now closed, and no additional evidence will be permitted. The board will now discuss the charges, facts, and evidence presented, then we will render our decision. First off, do we agree by preponderance of the evidence the city has proven that a violation of the Pasco Municipal Code has occurred? And may I have a motion one way or the other, please?
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I move that the board, having heard the case and facts presented, and by preponderance of the evidence presented, find the respondent in violation of the Pasco Municipal Code.
Second? Is there a
I
second?
second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. I'm I'm in favor of holding that in advance.
For what?
Well, so until it's completely fixed, that they don't, see, they want to give them a $5,000 fine.
I know. I saw that.
And,
Should be open to give them 30 days to get that conditional use permit filed.
to get it filed?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
Because
that's
gonna
really what
take
is
time to
everything's
get done.
contingent
Right,
on.
Yeah, right. And if in that 30 days
They haven't done
do
it?
not do it, then they get hit with the $5,000
Yeah.
fine.
Submitted.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that could
the-
take some time, right?
The permit has to be applied for.
Application submitted.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Jim.
Can you just specify 411 on the conditional use permit?
Okay. I move that the property located at 411 West Columbia, the $5,000 failure for correction of violations be held in abeyance for 30 days. And at that time, if they have not successfully completed and filed for the conditional use permit, that the fine be reinstated.
Okay,
A second.
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. So here's what we're doing, okay? And you will get an official notice in the mail within 10 days. We're giving you 30 days to get that conditional permit in, which is super critical. You heard it, what they're telling you, right? Super important. You got 30 days to get that submitted. It doesn't have to be approved in 30 days, but you folks have to get it submitted. If you do not get it done in 30 days, you're getting a $5,000 fine. Okay, fair enough? You get an official notice in the mail within 10 days.
I think we ought to reiterate very clearly that you are not approved to use that.
Yeah, you cannot
facility
use for
for
anything. Yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, okay? All right, and that was our only case. Do we have any amendments or dismissals to the resolution? And may I have a motion?
No, sir.
Okay, would like to,
I move that the board approve resolution 10-2024 as amended, finding that code violations have been corrected and may be dismissed, deferring action on certain cases until proper notification is made, accepting voluntary correction agreements, and assessing penalties and imposing timeframes on certain cases.
I second the motion.
it's been moved and seconded to accept the resolution as amended. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, none are opposed, motion carries. Do we have a report from staff tonight?
No, sir, not tonight.
Any other business?
No, sir.
There being no further business before the Pasco Code Enforcement Board, this meeting is declared adjourned at 7:39.